We're here to make a new type of news.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Making news just for you. It's Monday, November 27th here in Seoul, and I'm Hyun, and you're watching News Generation. Joining me in the studio is Choi Ji-hee.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Brooke Brish.
Hello, nice to see you.
Nice to see you again. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. As usual, let's start with our news feed, which covers different hashtags and news items that have been trending on social media over the past 24 hours. 9-year-old Israeli-Irish Emily Hand was one of the many initially feared dead after the Hamas attack on Israel, but was later identified as one of those abducted as hostages. Media coverage showed how desperately worried her family members were. After weeks of waiting and staying in fear, she came back to her family and friends alive as part of the hostage-prisoner deal between Israel and Hamas. Emily was one of the 13 Israelis and 4 Thai nationals that were released on Saturday night by Hamas in exchange for 39 Palestinian prisoners. Moving on to our second story. Last week, an electric vehicle taxi ran into a building in Busan City and caught fire. It took firefighters a total of 50 minutes to put the fire out. Experts explain that it's harder to extinguish an EV that catches fire because the batteries used for them could go up to a whopping 1,000 degrees Celsius. This has spurred concern since the number of EVs, especially used as taxis, has soared over the past few months. 4 out of every 10 newly registered taxis from January to August this year were EVs. And while 500,000 test takers wait for the results of their college entrance exam, also known as Suneung during this time of the year, many plastic surgery clinics post ads and hold promo events, mainly targeting soon-to-be college students with luring phrases like become more attractive before starting a new chapter in life. Online ads specifically target Suneung test takers, offering discounts for those who bring in their test admission tickets. Now, the health ministry has been trying to crack down on this trend for 2 reasons. 1, medical advertisements promoting conditional discounts such as providing plastic surgery to people with the latest college entrance exam admission ticket may violate the medical law. According to Articles 56 and 27 of Korea's medical law, promotions using major discount events on medical treatment that isn't covered by the national health insurance, such as plastic surgery, and don't specify exactly how much or how many people can receive such discounts are illegal. Now, the second reason why officials are trying to crack down on this is because experts have pointed to how most test takers are most vulnerable after a big exam like Suneung. If they come across adverts that say you can get pretty by plastic surgery, this could distort their image of beauty or implant unhealthy beauty standards. Now, here in the studio, what do you guys think about this news story? Starting with you, Brooke.
This story reminds me a lot of when I was teaching high school here, and I remember my students told me that it was very common for young Korean people to get double eyelid surgery as a gift for graduating. And that was definitely very surprising for me to hear. But I am of the mind that you shouldn't police what other people do with their bodies. So in general, I think as long as they are fully informed of the decision that they're making and they're making it for their own personal reasons, then I support that. I'm not going to stand in the way of that. However, that being said, I do think that there's something a little concerning about the phrasing.
Yeah.
You mentioned, become more attractive, become prettier. And I would say, since living here, I've had people tell me in Korean, oh, you're so pretty now that you've lost weight. So I think there's a kind of a cultural thing going on there. And I think it can be concerning to tell young people you can become pretty only if you have these superficial changes. So
Exactly.
I think it's a nuanced topic. In general, I support doing what you want to do with your own body, but as long as you still believe in and see your own natural beauty.
That's a very good point. Especially, I think you really highlighted our looksist culture because
Yes.
here in Korea, though we think it may be a compliment to say, hey, you lost weight, which is why you're pretty,
Right.
that could come across as being a little bit offensive.
But what was
at
I like before?
Exactly. What were your thoughts on this story?
Well, I'm all for these students after Suneung getting plastic surgeries, especially if an individual had a physical complex for a while, then I think it's totally fine to try and overcome that through surgeries. However, what the government is talking about is the advertisements, right?
Yes.
They should really be careful because, like the officials are arguing, they might be very distortive. They could be distorting the beauty image
Exactly.
and imposing false beauty standards on these vulnerable young students. However, I think it's okay if it's your choice to really want to get a surgery and overcome your physical complex, that's fine. And I also remember watching this very short video clip of a plastic surgeon. He was saying there's just one thing, one part in your body that you cannot change through surgery.
What is it?
and that is your eyes or your gaze.
Your gaze.
The gaze you have. Right. The gaze, it comes from your inner mind. It comes from your confidence. And it can only be built and developed by just focusing on yourself, not just the superficial looks, but just really your character.
Yeah,
right?
your inner beauty.
Yes, your inner beauty. So that's what's
interesting.
more interesting, important. Yes.
Exactly. And that was our news feed for this Monday. We're now going to switch gears to our main discussion topic of the day. We're just a day ahead of finding out who will be hosting the 2030 World Expo. South Korea's hopes are high as the port city of Busan is one of the candidates. My AI voice secretary has the details.
South Korea is hoping to hold the 2030 World Expo in the port city of Busan. The international fair brings countries together to share their latest technological and scientific advancements. It started with London's Great Exhibition back in 1851 and has been held every 5 years. As of now, Busan, Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, and Rome in Italy are in the running to host this international event. 182 member states will cast a secret vote on Tuesday, determining which city will have the honors of hosting the 2030 World Expo under the theme of transforming our world, navigating toward a better future.
The million-dollar question is, who will win the bid to host the 2030 World Expo? Here in the studio, what do you guys think will happen tomorrow?
Well, I really hope Busan wins.
Yes.
But for that, in a final attempt to really host this World Expo in Busan, the government as well as the corporate leaders and other organizations made a joint effort. In particular, President Yoon visited the BIE headquarters in Paris in person and promoted Busan's attractions. He promised that if Busan is chosen as the host for the 2030 World Expo, it would serve as a platform to create and spread synergy between different cultures, skills, and beliefs of each nation. Now, the Busan Expo promotion activities had a significant impact, in particular in Paris, which is a major battleground for corporations. For example, Samsung Electronics put up billboards at the Paris airport. Hyundai Motor displayed digital outdoor advertisements in downtown Paris. And also, you could see LG buses running around in London, England as well. So this isn't the first international fair, in fact, hosted by South Korea, because in the past, we had the expos in Daejeon and Yeosu in 1993 and 2012, respectively, and I've been to both of them.
Really now.
But anyhow, the Korean government is in particular very enthusiastic about hosting another event such as these, because the past two expos, they were just special expos under the BIE standard. But if we were to host the Busan Expo, it would be the World Expo, and South Korea could really become the 7th country in the world to have hosted 3 mega international events, including the Olympics, the World Cup, and the World Expo. And that will be joining France, the US, Canada, Japan, Germany, and Italy as the 7th country.
The 7th country.
That's so cool.
Fingers crossed, and 7 is a lucky number,
yeah, it
so
is.
we'll hope to see some good results. What about you? What do you hope to see happen?
Well, from what I've heard, Saudi Arabia and South Korea are the 2 top contenders, and they are really going all out to win this bidding war. Personally, as a foreigner who's been living here for 7 years, I, of course, hope that Korea wins the bid. And I just think that Busan is such a great city for it to happen. I've been there a few times. The last time I went there was actually a huge honor for me because I got to speak at a ceremony that was commemorating the 70th anniversary of the Armistice Agreement. So I got to meet the president and shake his hand, and I got to help honor the veterans that were in attendance. It was a really meaningful experience, and the event itself was so well organized. It was held at the Busan Cinema Center. I don't know if you've seen it or been there before, but the architecture is just stunning. It's so beautiful. And Busan in general has so many places like that. So I think that Busan is a great candidate, and I'm really crossing my fingers that we will get to host the World Expo.
Exactly, and as its slogan, Busan is ready, which is why we're definitely rooting for this port city, the largest port city here in Korea, to win, and so are many other countries. But let's now analyze why. What makes Busan such an attractive option to be hosting a big event like the World Expo?
Well, first of all, the bidding process of Busan, it received a lot of attention from different media outlets because the city showcased several events such as the BTS concert, a large-scale fireworks show, a welcome ceremony for the BIE delegation. The 2023 Busan Wheelchair Fencing World Cup was also held there, and visits by diplomatic delegations from different countries as well. Now, during the time of the Expo bid, there was a significant increase apparently in the number of foreign tourists visiting Busan as well. And based on statistics from the Busan Tourism Organization, the number of foreign tourists increased, in fact, by 5-fold on year and just within the first half of this year. So the city's brand image definitely was analyzed and found to have improved as well. And all these events, the special events, international events that Busan held, have definitely contributed to the growth of the region.
Yeah, you can see a lot of economic improvement there just by even promoting the fact that we might be holding the 2030 World Expo. Now, Brooke, would you like to add on as to why this city could be a very appealing host city?
Yes, I think a lot of people are rooting for Busan to win because it is such an attractive option. And I think we're hearing more and more about what the city actually has to offer. Because I've heard more about Busan in the last couple of years than I have the entire time I've been in Korea.
Yeah,
I think that's because of the anticipation that's been building up around this World Expo. And also, it's based on how popular this city is, how much it has to offer. So as you can see, there are many beautiful, beautiful places to go to in Busan. There is the Busan Cinema Center, which I mentioned earlier. There's also the Junggu International Market, the Jagalchi Market, the Gyeomjong-Sansong Mountain Makgeolli Village, and just all sorts of places that you can go to enjoy. Of course, we cannot mention Busan without mentioning seafood. It is so delicious there. So I think if they do end up hosting the World Expo 2030, the attendees will have so many things to do, attractions to see, and of course, delicious food to eat.
Exactly. Then my last question in this part of our discussion is, I understand it's an appealing city. I personally love Busan City as well. It's a great place to go during the summer, great beaches, great food, as you both mentioned. But is it ready to hold such a big event, like logistically speaking, infrastructure-wise? Is Busan ready to hold a large-scale exhibition?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, why?
Well, first of all, every October, Busan holds the Busan International Film Festival, which is known as the largest film festival in Asia. And the festival features, of course, a wide variety of films and invites filmmakers and industry professionals from all over the world. And not just this event, but also it's famous for hosting various international events as well in Expo. And Expo is known as the country's leading convention center. So in 2019, Expo hosted the ASEAN Korea Forum, which of course brought together leaders from different countries, and they were building and strengthening partnerships all together. And Expo also hosted the League of Legends World Championship, one of the biggest esports events in the world. And recently, it also successfully hosted the largest game exhibition in Korea called G-Star, where they showcase the latest gaming technology and trends. So overall, Busan and Expo have become an important international hub for cultural as well as business events, attracting global attention as well as contributing to the growth of the region.
Yeah, for sure. And Brooke, I couldn't help but notice you were smiling to hear.
I was so happy to hear League of Legends, my favorite game. So I'm glad Jihee mentioned it. I did not get to go to the games in Busan, but I did recently go to the World Championships held in Seoul. And it was a fantastic event, as expected. Korea in general just always has the most professional, polished approach to holding these events, which is why I think Busan is definitely ready to do this. Speaking of my own experience, which I talked about earlier, that event was quite an important official event. They had a lot of high-ranking officials there, like the president, other politicians, veterans. So the security had to be top-notch, which it will also have to be for the World Expo. And it was just so smooth. The staff made sure that everything ran smoothly, everyone was safe. And so because of that personal experience, as well as all of the information that we've covered today, I think Busan is well equipped to be a host for this huge honor. And like they say, Busan is ready.
Busan is ready, and we've shown you guys through all these different large-scale global exhibitions and different festivals out there. And we asked our viewers what they would like to see at the 2030 World Expo and which country they're bidding for, hopefully Busan City. Take a look at the screen to find out what 3 of our viewers had to say. say. Hannah said Busan would be an amazing host for the 2030 World Expo. The city has a lot to offer, from its beautiful beaches to its cutting-edge technology. Go for it, Busan, and show everyone what you're made of. Doina Hire said, yes, I hope Busan will host 2030 World Expo. It's the best place for an event like this. And Benny says, yes, I'm ready to have Busan host the 2030 World Expo once they win the bid. On behalf of everyone from the Philippines, we are ready. And so is Busan. And to better find out how the atmosphere is like in Busan at the moment, we're going to include an assistant professor at Busan University of Foreign Studies in our talks. So stay tuned for our live interview. We're now going to include someone who's in Busan right now. It's Taegan Smith, assistant professor at Busan University of Foreign Studies. Welcome, Taegan.
Hello, nice to see everyone. I also wanted to mention I work as an assistant professor, but I'm also working as a travel reporter, an event reporter. So I've been working for TV and radio doing millions of interviews about the expo as well.
Okay, well, you're a perfect match for our interview then. So let's start off with this. Where in Busan are you at the moment, and how's the atmosphere like there, which is only a day ahead of finding out the results of who'll be hosting the 2030 World Expo?
I live in an area called Suyeong-gu, which is actually about 1 kilometer from Gwangali Beach. So if you guys have seen the famous bridge in Busan, I live very close to that area.
I see.
And what's the atmosphere like? Are people hyped up? Are they excited for the bidding results to come out tomorrow?
Yes, so Busan actually has been hyped up all year long. So I want to emphasize that it's not just right now. Busan has been holding rallies, concerts, drone shows, events, everything to anticipate the result. Busan, everyone is really excited. And to be honest, I really hope we win, because I can't imagine what it's going to be like if we don't, because people are really putting their hearts and souls into bidding for this expo.
Yeah, it's not just in Busan. Here in Seoul, we saw a lot of landscapes, and like even the Lotte Tower, they were like putting up signs saying that Busan must win. So all of our hopes are high. Ji, would you like to ask a question to take?
Sure. So do you think Busan will be better promoted to the world if it becomes a host country?
Yes, I think that Busan will be showcased to the world if we become a host country. And I personally think that the world is ready for Busan. Busan is a hidden treasure. So part of me, I do like that it is a hidden treasure, because obviously it is my treasure, but I do want to know how great Busan is. It's a wonderful place for people to come and see. And so if we become the host city for the 2030 Expo, I think the world will realize, wow, what is this city that we didn't know about? And it will be put onto the global scale for everyone to see.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your excitement with us. We definitely feel it here in the studio. I have one last question for you. Can you promote Busan to us as a foreigner who is living there, and tell us why you would like it to be the city that hosts the World Expo 2030?
Okay, so Busan's old phrase was dynamic Busan. They've changed it now to Busan is good, but I personally like dynamic Busan because that summarizes what I think of Busan. Busan has everything. Busan has beaches, infrastructure, events, and also jang, like a Korean feeling, right? Busan is a city where you're going to feel the people's love. Not only is Busan ready in terms of the infrastructures and the preparation, Busan has a heart. So I want everyone to come to Busan and feel the love of Busan. And also, if you know Korean, you could say 살아있네. So Busan, we're alive. So come here and experience all of the love and feel alive in Busan. Experience beaches and all of the wonderful things that Busan has.
Well, we will do that, Taegan. It was a pleasure.
That was
Exactly. That was a great thing that you said right there. And also, I really like the fact that you said not only is Busan ready, but the world is now ready to have Busan host the World Expo. Thank you so much, Taegan. It was a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to end off by sharing our hopes ahead of the bidding results tomorrow. Busan is ready. The world is also ready.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Busan is ready. 살아있네.
살아있네.
You mentioned that.
So good.
Because in Busan we have that dialect
We
too.
do.
Like in Korea, based on regions, we have that dialect.
Right,
and a
right.
catchphrase is 살아있네, which means I think it could be colloquial for like you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Busan's ready. Yeah, exactly.
Right, right. So I truly hope that Busan really wins the bid because it's going to help enhance our country's public image as well as the prestige of the whole country. And it's going to bring a lot of economic effects as well, creating new jobs. And Busan really holds a special place in my heart personally, as it's my parents' hometown. And I still have relatives living there, so I go to Busan quite often.
Yeah.
So I really do hope that Busan can win. So judges, do vote for Busan.
You're like the promo girl, especially since it's your hometown, your parents' hometown. It resonates in your heart.
It does.
What about you, Brooke?
Honestly, Taken did such a good job of
I
promoting
know.
it. I feel like
Yeah.
there's not much left to say, but I really hope that Busan wins. I also have a soft spot for that city. I've made many beautiful memories there, and I really hope that all of the future attendees get to come and make their own memories in Busan. It's a great city. Let's hope we win.
Let's hope we win, and we will see the results tomorrow. So stay in tune to find out who will be hosting the 2030 World Expo. In the meantime, we'll be here every day from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Korea time, bringing you more topics young people are talking about. Special thanks to Chiji.
Thank you.
Hope Busan wins.
Yes, let's hope so.
All right, and Brooke Prince.
Thank you. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Now, thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. We are News Generation.